Okay, it's April 21st, and this is the GANOOZE special I'm really tired edition. That's right, I'm really tired. But I'll be optimistic and forge forward with the news in spite of my fatigue. Okay, South Korea. There was that South Korean chick, woman astronaut thing. Went up to space with the Russians, and yeah, coming back home, they landed off course there, like 260 miles, and got like 10 Gs. 3 hours took them to re-enter, and apparently did it too quickly, and so they all got a little wobbly. Yes, it's a little wobbly getting out of the old spacecraft. But all's well, a little bit scared, saw some fire in the window, spooked them all up a little bit, but they just kind of pretended it wasn't a big problem. Fire? Well, so what, a little bit of fire? It's okay. A little fire's nice. We can roast some marshmallows or something. You know, a little fire's good. Okay, there's that stupid physics guy. Can't remember his name, but anyway, you know, the little guy all crunchled up in the wheelchair thing. Really pissed me off. You know, he says, yes, we should be exploring space. Anybody who hates the space program is a nasty, evil bastard. It's like being against going to the new world or something. Yeah, well, bullshit on that. I mean, this guy's a physics guy. He ought to know that, you know, physics say it's really hard to go anywhere in fucking space. And what made it worse, getting back to the story, there's that little guy, right? And so then he's also talking about these alien stuff and the fact that he thinks there's primitive life in the universe, okay? It has nothing to base it on, though. I know that. There's no math in the world that makes that equation make sense. But he'll concede that, yeah, there's probably not any intelligent life, because I guess it ran into the old, you know, make the nuclear bomb, blow yourself up equation. But it seems like even if they did that, they would have made some electronic noise before they blew themselves up, and so we should be having some, you know, should be some noise that reaches here, you know, because they could have had a millions of year head start on us in terms of their civilization time, and so we should hear a little noise. But there's no noise out there. There's no messages, no TV signals, no nothing. But anyway, I mean, the whole point is that we just don't know the fucking answer to that question. It's an impossibility to sit there and write that fucking equation because we don't know the fucking variables. And for a physicist to say what's probable is pretty fucking stupid. Anyway, kind of annoying. All right, another story. They actually had a story with the words brain fart in it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You know, that's okay for the good news, you know, for somebody to say brain fart. But really, I mean, professional news organizations saying brain farts? I mean, Jesus. So anyway, it goes like this. Apparently put people in MRIs and then have them do tests, you know, and if they fuck up, they see what the brain's doing right before they fuck up. And so they found that 30 seconds, up to 30 seconds before people screw up some mundane task, the brain shows signals that it's ready to go farty. And it's not 100% reliable, but it does do this thing where there's a little crap that goes on between the brain, because the brain is sort of saying, well, let's save energy, you know, let's go into suspend mode because it's just a mundane routine task. And then it kind of like suspends too much, and then it kind of like fucks up and says, whoops, gotta come back alive a little bit more than that. That's a little too much suspending. And so apparently it's not an exact science for the brain. It doesn't do the suspend thing too well. My fucking computer really has a problem with that too. You know, sometimes it suspends, and guess what? It goes completely to fucking sleep, and you can't even wake it up. You can't do a goddamn thing. You gotta like unplug it and start all over again because it completely goes coma instead of suspending. But anyway, whatever. Okay, so there's this French asshole. He went to court for shooting the last bear, like in France or something. And they dropped the charges. I didn't read the fucking story. I mean, all I had to hear was hunter killing last female bear. And that was enough for me. I'm saying, yeah, okay, well, whatever. All right, maybe they didn't have a case. Maybe they didn't have this. But, you know, they should have done something to the fucker. These stupid ass hunters. But, you know, listen, there's only 2 bears left or whatever. Well, you know, I think the bears were sort of out of luck. All right, gas prices up to $3.50 a gallon for the average price, which is the, I guess, the national record. So good for us. Okay, yeah, the gasoline's going up, so cars are going to have to start shrinking there, fellas, because you people can't afford all this money on gas, and it ain't going to get any better apparently. So bad times ahead, right? All right, the Army. The Army is now apparently recruiting, well, at least it's allowing a lot more convicts, convicted felons for manslaughter and sex crimes. Really is amazing that's what the Army's reduced to. Okay, just find any violent moron cretin you can find on the street, offer him some fucking money to go be a violent moron cretin in another country with a little flag on his shoulder. Good idea, fucking government. Way to go. Fuck. Alright, those polygamous guys, well, the girls, apparently they're not being very cooperative in identifying who their mommies are, so now they're gonna have to DNA, like, whatever, a few hundred of them, and find out who's who. I'm probably gonna find out it's, it's like, the family tree ain't gonna be very big, it's not very expansive roots, so it's probably gonna be just a few grandmothers in there or something, or whatever. There's a lot of relatives, I bet, no doubt. And but anyway, it's just disgusting. Human beings, I mean, they can't do better than this. Whatever. All right, some New Jersey story, throw in there. The state here says you can't get somebody's IP address. Like, say if you do something fucked up and the cops ask for a company to give the IP information for the person's address to find out what the fuck they did. You can't, they're saying they can't even do it without just a regular, court order. They have to get a grand jury subpoena, to be able to get the information for the company. And I think that's sort of bullshit. It's going a little step too far. Because, people do crimes, and you got to be able to catch them. And apparently this case revolves around some woman who, tried to sabotage somebody with a bunch of false information and did all kinds of nasty, spammy activities to get revenge against somebody. And, yeah, we really should be able to stop people from fucking with the internet to fuck with people. I mean, that's just bullshit. I mean, it seems to me a regular court order should be enough, but whatever. So anyway, that's just the state of New Jersey. Apparently the feds aren't quite as crazy. Alright, apparently this is a YouTube video of some guy who got, from a few years ago, got stuck in an elevator for 41 hours. And apparently it's a big hit on YouTube to watch the time-lapse photography of the guy spending his 41 hours roaming around in his fucking elevator. Apparently he did his duty and such out the doors. He got the doors open so he was able to, dump down below. So I don't know whether they show that parts or not, but whatever. People are easily entertained. So anyway, art institutions got a tough time because they're having trouble with their bonds. They gotta have borrow money to buy some stupid piece of rock art or something somebody does, or some curtain art or some kind of other bullshit art, handprint art, whatever. And apparently their bonds aren't selling very well, though, so they end up paying high interest rates, and so they're, people don't have the disposable income as they used to have, I guess, apparently already, so they're having a little bit of trouble for the old ballet and the art institutions of institutionalization of art kind of things. So whatever, support the arts, I guess, or not, your choice, really. Iraq. Apparently the head of guy of Iraq is kind of concerned everything's going to fall apart there, and so he's kind of asking like the other Arab countries to open embassies, in the country. I guess they'll, somehow generate some kind of credibility, and they'd like to be forgiven for their debt. I mean, I don't know whether that's old Saddam debt or whether that's some sort of new debt or what kind of debt that is, but it's kind of funny, a country with all that oil has debt. It's kind of really stupid is what it is. So, especially after a war and everything else, I mean, if there was old debt, it should have been wiped out. You should have nationalized it right there. So, fuck. If the country owed anybody any money, they should be out of fucking luck. Alright, and so finally, Bush, apparently he's hanging out with that Mexican guy, president, and, they're all talking big talk about how we need all this free trade, gotta have more free trade. And, yeah, well, fuck that, whatever. I mean, I think we all had our fill of free trade. And so the other Bush story would be that he's, they're fighting having the visitor log made public because somehow that's national security information. The president has a right to consult with people in private. And, Yeah, well, fuck that. You know, he's fucking president. He's supposed to be a fucking public servant. We should get to know who the fuck he's talking to and for how long he talks to them. If they're coming over for the weekend and hanging out in the leaking bedroom together or whatever the fuck they're up to, we should get to know that shit. We're the fucking public. We own the goddamn fucking White House, damn it. We should get to know who the fuck goes in and out of that fucking building. And so that's the news. That's the end. Might be under 10 minutes. Might be short this time. Went through it pretty quick, pretty sloppy. Because, like, you know, as I stated, I am tired. So that's probably the flaw. The flaw is probably in me. Probably wasn't the news that was crappy. It was probably my delivery, my interpretation. Yeah, so it's all my fault. So, yeah, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, obviously, it's, you know, I got a good contract. I do this, you know, regardless of you people watch or not. I don't care. What do I care? Am I getting any money? No, it doesn't matter. So why the fuck do I care? So you got what you got. That's what you got. You got it. That's it. That's all there is. So fuck you. I'm going now. I'm just leaving. I won't just leave, but, you know, I'm gonna, and then I'll be gone very shortly. So after I disappear from you, I will be leaving also here. So I'll get to that now.